It's been nearly 80 years since the last World War. Since cities burned from the sky, since soldiers bled in trenches while civilians ran for shelter, since humanity looked into the abyss and barely pulled back. But the world is changing again. And this time, it again feels different. You can feel it in the headlines, in the speeches of world leaders, in the silent unspoken tension that clings to the air like smoke before a fire. Russia has invaded Ukraine. Not in secret, not quietly, but with tanks, bombs, and cold calculation. The West responded with weapons and warnings, but the war drags on. And beneath the surface, something darker stirs. In Asia, China watches. It eyes Taiwan like a hawk circles prey, waiting, testing, calculating. The drills grow louder. The language more aggressive, the lines thinner. North Korea launches missile after missile, each one flying further, higher, bolder. Its threats no longer feel theatrical. They feel rehearsed, and in the Middle East, the fire never went out, it just changed shape. Proxy wars bleed into each other. But now, tensions between Israel, US, and Iran threaten to explode after US finally attacked Iran's nuclear facilities. This isn't fear-mongering, it's reality. The question isn't if a global war is coming, it's when. We like to tell ourselves we're smarter now, more evolved, that we've learned from our past, but ask history, and it will laugh in your face. World War I was triggered by a single bullet. World War II by a dictator's ambition, and the silence of nations too afraid to stop him. The next one, it won't begin with a grand invasion. It could start with a mistake, a drone flying a little too far. A satellite hacked in the dead of night. A misfired missile, a misunderstood signal, 1 second of miscalculation, and the world catches fire. The alliances are already drawn even if no one says it out loud. On one side, the United States, NATO, Japan, South Korea, Australia. On the other, Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, loosely connected, tied not by trust but by a shared desire to shift the global order. Official or not, the battle lines are clear. Military drills near Taiwan aren't just exercises, they're warnings. Cyberattacks on energy grids, transportation systems, and banks aren't isolated incidents, they're rehearsals. Every move, every response, every silence, it's all part of a larger game. And this war, when it comes, won't look like the ones before. It won't just be tanks through Europe or aircraft over the Pacific. It'll be fought in darkness, in cyberspace, in code. A hacker could freeze a power grid in January, and millions would die from cold, not bullets. A satellite could be knocked offline, and suddenly planes fall from the sky, communications die, and we're blind. A virus, digital, not biological, could erase bank accounts, wipe out infrastructure, paralyze entire nations. No explosions, no uniforms, just collapse. And then, there's the nuclear question. 9 countries, over 12,000 warheads, each one capable of ending a city in seconds. For decades we've lived under the doctrine of mutually assured destruction. It kept the peace. Barely. Because no one wanted to be the first to end the world. But what happens when desperation outweighs reason? What happens when a leader sees no way out? When he thinks he can strike first and survive? Some believe it's already begun. Not with bombs, but with influence. We're already at war. Information war. Disinformation is the new weapon. Deepfakes, fake news, state-run propaganda, designed not to convince you of something but to make you doubt everything. Trust dies before blood is spilled. Elections are getting manipulated, divisions widened, people turn on each other online and then in real life. By the time the first missile flies, the battle for truth is already lost. But there's still hope. Because the same threads that make the world fragile also hold it together. Trade, economy, technology, global dependency. War between superpowers would not just kill soldiers, it would destroy markets, crash currencies, erode everything we've built. There are still quiet diplomats, still back channels, still officials who believe in peace, even when their leaders pretend otherwise. And then, there's us. Billions of people, parents, children, students, workers. We don't want war, we want safety, future, life. That still matters. But peace is fragile. It's glass held together by trembling hands, and it only takes one mistake, one bullet, one ego, one signature, one man with a pen and a death wish. So, is World War III coming? Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not this year. But the pieces are moving, the board is set, and if we don't change direction soon, history won't forgive us for where we're headed. Because the next World War won't be announced on the news. It won't come with a banner headline or an invasion like in the previous wars. It will begin quietly, in silence, until it's too loud to stop. This is not paranoia. We need to wake up. The future is watching what we do next. We must avoid a third world war because if it happens, it will be the end of humanity.